In this exercise, you create a vendor invoice that doesn't reference any purchase order at all. For example, an employee makes a direct purchase such as buying a new office chair and then submits the invoice to the accounts payable. Let's see how it's being done. I choose accounts payable and select vendor invoices. And then I select pending vendor invoices. As you notice, you have the capability to create a vendor invoice right from a purchase order or from an existing product receipt. In this demonstration, since I like to demonstrate how to create a vendor invoice that doesn't reference any purchase order or product receipt at all, from the action pane, I click Invoice. The vendor invoice form appears. I expand the invoice account and I choose the account number 4101. By tabbing over this specific field, all the default information from this vendor will automatically populate the adequate fields. Let's go ahead and specify the invoice number that matches the invoice number for this vendor. From the line section, I click Add Line. Then I choose Office Chair for the item number and I tab over. As you notice, all the default information will appear from the product information. Then I choose the Financials button on the Lines menu. I select Distribute Amounts. On the Accounting Distribution dialog box, I can verify the accounting distribution for selected vendor invoice. Please note that accounting distributions for taxes cannot be created until taxes are calculated. You could distribute by percent or by an amount. I click the ledger account number and then click a Split button. Now you can see two lines in the grid, a line with 0% of the amount and the original line with 100% of the amount. Let's change 0 to 50. As you notice, the amount automatically gets calculated to be $87.50. Now we need to change the percent on line 2 to 50% as well. Let's do that. By tabbing over, the value automatically gets calculated to be exactly $87.50 as well. For the second line, I choose a department to be internal sales. By doing this, I distribute 50% of the amount to be allocated for internal sales department. Needless to say, you could distribute by percent, amount, or quantity. Then I click Close. As an alternative, you could select the Financials tab and you could achieve the same functionality from the action pane. As you see, I can compare the functionality from the action panes with those from the financial menu on the line segments. Let's switch back on the vendor invoice and post this invoice. As an alternative, you can print the invoice while posting. As you note, the vendor invoice appears. In this demonstration, you saw how to generate an invoice that doesn't relate to any purchase order or product receipt at all. Then I click Close to close this report.